It's really great to see you all. And we have the second part of our conference, and it will be devoted to CPD. So, you know, CPD, continuous professional development, i.e. what you need to do after you graduated, worked for some time, yeah, and maybe got some certificates. And one more topic is digital literacy. Do you know why digital literacy is so infamous this year? Does anyone know? Yeah, oh yeah, state exam. What happened to state exam? Yeah, too difficult topic because of digital literacy, right? So digital literacy like something strange, like exotic animal, yeah? But still we have to know what it is. So we are going to have talks right now in Novosibirsk. We have the same topics in Kazan, in Rostov-on-Don, and in Kharkiv, and later on our online day. And some of our partners will present these talks. Okay, so right now, it's my honor to present to you Vadim Bakirov. And Vadim is a rare person because he's a polyglot. And right now, I will just tell you about his languages. So he's fluent in English and Spanish. He's mastering Portuguese, Dutch, Italian, Swedish, German, and Turkish. How do you like this? That's a lot, yeah? Okay. So at the same time, Vadim is an English and Spanish teacher at Chelyabinsk State University. Wow, so he manages some schedules and students, and at the same time he studies languages. This year he was the organizer of the annual language festival It's Time in Chelyabinsk. So yeah, in my hometown we also have some language festivals, so come and see them. And I'd like to greet him there in Novosibirsk for the first time. And please listen to his really valuable talk about using digital tools in teaching listening and songs. Okay, so let's welcome Vadim.
Yeah, hello everybody. Why are you so far away? Come closer a little bit. I won't bite, I promise. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to ask you, do you like singing? Yeah, because actually my topic is learning English with songs. So why? My main hobbies are English, languages, and music. I studied in a music school for about 11 years, so yeah, so long. But as for languages, you know, when I was a small kid, I used to sing English songs just like this, you know? In my home, in my soul, da 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 da, just like majority of people do. Or if you are from the 90s, I think you remember that. Oh, freestyle, yeah. Yeah, but then, when I turned 10, I started to study English at school, and that was really boring and tedious, and I hated that. But at that time, I loved Tattoo, that world-famous Russian band. This is me and Tattoo, by the way. And one day, some people told me that they were going to release an English album. But I was so impatient about it, so I decided to translate their Russian songs into English myself when I was 10, and I couldn't speak any English. So I just took an English dictionary, you know, that paper one, and started to translate it word by word, word by word. So if you remember that song, Nas не догонят, that was something like, as not overtake, so as not overtake. That's awful, isn't it? But this is how I learned a lot of words. Then, when I turned 15, I got well and truly hooked on an Argentinian band, RW, and I didn't know what language they were singing in. Somebody told me that was Spanish. I thought that was Argentinian. So this is how I started to learn Spanish. And this is how I learned my first 100, 200 words. Yeah, and 10 years later, the story repeated. I decided to learn a little bit of Dutch. So still, my Dutch vocabulary is based on songs of this nice duo, Nick and Simon. Once I had an opportunity to meet them face to face, and they were really surprised because I talked to them in English. I didn't speak Dutch at that time. And I made some quotes from their songs. So some weird guy came from Russia to the Netherlands to a very small town, Haarlem, and he was speaking in a mixture of English and some quotes. So as you see, if I reached any success in languages, that's all thanks to music, thanks to songs. You know, there have been a lot of researches into this area, and they all say that songs are a wonderful tool while teaching or learning languages. I think these benefits are obvious, but still, let's just enumerate some of them. So, first of all, songs are close to reality. We all realize the prevalence of music in our life, and for some students, songs are like the major or even the only source of real authentic English. So why not? The next one is repetition. How many times does a chorus repeat in a song? Like 5, 6 times, 3, depends. And no matter how hard you resist, you will memorize it anyway. Do you know that joke that I wish I didn't speak English because at some point I started to understand songs which I loved before. Now I hate them, of course, because I understand the lyrics. Emotions. There is nothing more boring and mortal than rote learning, drilling, these grammar exercises, right? We all know that languages are all about emotions, impressions, and songs provide you with like a whole range of emotions. And finally, pronunciation. So, a song is a wonderful and non-violent, this is important, phonetic exercise. So, if you take some rap song, that could be a wonderful tongue twister, for example. So, I could go on talking and talking about the benefits of the songs, but I think you agree with me that it's wonderful. But if you still have some doubts, and some teachers really have doubts about using songs, let's just talk about some problems, some issues. The first one is that tastes differ, right? So one student likes rap, another one loves rock, and the third one is into Russian chanson. So what can you do about it? Actually, you can't satisfy everybody, and after all, some students don't like listening, the others don't like reading, so you wouldn't abandon that task just because they don't want. And to tell the truth, I'm sure that there is no such a thing like bad type of music. There are good songs and bad songs. The next one is breach of discipline. Oh yeah, some teachers think that singing songs would turn their classes into chaos. But what is discipline for you? You are teachers, tell me, what is discipline? Good discipline. Attention. Again? Okay, that's good. But you know, for some teachers, and I know them personally, it's when your students are silent, frightened, petrified, and don't say a word. Of course not. If they sing songs, they get more active, involved, let's say more uninhibited. So that's wonderful in my opinion. Shy students. Of course, not everybody likes singing. So is there anybody who's afraid of singing? Like who's embarrassed? Yeah, I see. There are people like this. But the thing is, the good news is you don't have to sing. It's advisable, but it's not obligatory. Your students can just pronounce the words like to the rhythm of the song, and that would be enough. Just be careful, please. Don't let like more active students dominate the class. Okay, and finally, controversial lyrics. We live in a modern world where songs are not censored yet. So they might contain some slang, swear words, some taboo topics. So it's all up to you. In my opinion, we have to learn languages on all aspects, including slang, including swear words, whatever. But it's up to you. You decide. You're the teacher. Okay, so how do you choose a song, first of all, if you want to use it? The song must be appropriate. What does it mean? It must correlate with the age and with the level of education of your students. Do you think you can inspire a modern teenager with a song from the 70s? No, I don't think so. And I think that one of the best features of a modern teacher is to be open to new trends in music, literature, films. But even if you are a little bit conservative, modern technologies might help you. But we'll talk about it a little bit later, okay? Or alternatively, you can carry out a small survey. You can ask your students such questions like what music they like, if they buy music. By the way, do you buy music? Nice, very nice. So it will provide you with very valuable information, and it will be much easier after that. The song must be rhythmical. If you take a powerful, sophisticated ballad, your students will fall asleep. And of course, it's more difficult to sing something like, Whitney Houston's "And I Will Always Love You," like impossible to sing if you're not trained. Simple and predictable structure. So the song must contain something like a verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, 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 right? So your students wouldn't get lost in the text. And finally, nice voice. Yeah, it seems obvious, but the other day at my university, I heard that one of the teachers used like a heavy rock song. But in my opinion, again, I think that heavy rock might sooner lead to problems with hearing than improving your listening comprehension. Maybe I'm not right, but... Okay, let's talk about some activities. So you chose a wonderful song, very rhythmical, meaningful, and so on. First of all, you should give some introductory information. What is that? Some information about the singer, about the song, just a couple of facts. You don't need to give them a biography on 300 pages, right? The next one is a bit of vocabulary, just a bit. If there are some words in the song which are essential for understanding, but your students might not know those words, you should introduce some vocabulary, but not too long, please. And finally, you play the song, just for enjoyment. You might show them a video clip, for example, or a live performance, but they don't have to understand like all the words from the song yet. They just have to taste that song to get acquainted with it, and after that, kind of compare the opinions on it. Right. What do you do after that? You start doing while listening activities. The first one is easy, and you all know it, I think. Gap fill is when you take a song, you just take out some words, your students listen to the song and fill in the gaps, just like this. So, for example, here, I took out some really simple words, like, I'm in love with the shape of you, like love. I don't remember. Do you remember the lyrics? Yeah, some very simple words. But be careful. Please take out simple words, which your students know. And of course, the underscore must be the same length as the word. Alternatively, you can take this activity, order the lines. It's really appropriate for elementary students and for fast songs when you don't have time to write down anything. For example, I took Shakira's Objection. It's a very active song. Something like, objection, I don't want to be the exception, to get a bit of your attention. So you have no time to fill in the gaps. So they just order the lines, and that's wonderful. Then, finding mistakes. Alter the text a little bit and replace some words with other similar words, maybe with the same quantity of syllables. For example, ABBA, Mamma Mia, I changed some words. Can you see them? Like, yes, I've been warm-hearted. What was there, actually? Broken-hearted, and so on, right. I really like this activity. The next one is extra word, is when you add something. Just very small words, pronouns, contractions, such words like so, pretty. For instance, I took Usher's Oh My Gosh, and I added these words, like that, pretty, so, and so on. It's really relevant if the song is quick. especially with the rap. It's kind of challenging. You can try it. After that, what's the next one? Selective listening, my favorite one. You just give your students a list of words. A part of these words are taken from the song, and the other part are randomly chosen. For example, you can see some verbs, see, look, dance, and so on. Some of these words are from Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling. So you can see, like, nothing I can see, but when you dance, dance, dance. But you can't find the word look. So your students just cross out the words which are not in the song while listening. But you have an example. Good. Grammar tasks. What does it mean? You can turn a song into a nice classic grammar task. For example, if you want to consolidate or revise the past simple tense, take Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy. You ask your students to put the verbs into correct form, and after that, your students listen to the song and check themselves. Amazing. If you have really creative students, you can ask them to draw that song. Just give them some colored pencils and tell them to write whatever comes to their heads while they are listening. After that, they compare the pictures. They say what emotions stirred up. By the way, it's wonderful if you're learning vocabulary emotions. For example, do you recognize the song? Do you know the song? Exactly. A very nice picture. You are more likely to see something like this, but that's not important, of course. So these are while listening tasks. What you can do after that? A lot of things. For example, a follow-up activity might be a discussion. You know, some people say that modern songs are not really, they are thin on meaning, they're meaningless, and so on. I don't agree. Some of them are wonderful. For example, if you take a pretty old song, but Pink's Family Portrait, it's all about divorce and how it affects children and so on. A very popular topic today, self-acceptance. Take Christina Aguilera's Beautiful. It's accompanied with a wonderful video that works just perfectly. If you want to talk about relationship between parents and children, you take this song, John Mayer's Daughters. And if you are a very modern teacher who doesn't have any taboo topics and you would like to discuss, for example, drugs, take Lady Gaga's Mary Jane Holland and be careful about it, of course. The next thing you can do, you can recycle the lyrics in many different ways. You can summarize, write prose, make a continuation. What do I mean by that? Let's take Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. It goes really well if you have like female students, and after listening, they can make a small monologue, like a little confession, a heart-rending confession of a woman who was dumped and now she's surviving that. Wonderful. Or alternatively, let's take some classic, like Beatles' Yesterday. So what does the song say? Like, why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say, I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. My whole life, I've been thinking, what wrong he said that she left and now he's longing for yesterday. So ask your students to write a prequel. What happened before, how the story started. And that works just perfectly. I really recommend that. Or another way of recycling lyrics would be like this. We took Ricky Martin's Upside, Inside Down, Living La Vida Loca. It's about a girl who's living La Vida Loca, a crazy life. So she spikes drinks, she steals money from men. We made different versions. For example, one of my students made a vegetarian version. It's about a girl who is vegetarian, but her boyfriend likes eating meat, and she got this kind of text. Just compare. So she never eats pelmeni, so she dumped him. That's the problem. I like it very much. Okay, The next one is editing songs. For example, modern songs are full of slang, as we mentioned before. So you can ask your students to write a neutral version of the song. If you take this one, Bruno Mars's Lazy Song, we can see like, gonna kick my feet up, chilling in my snuggie, doggy. What does it all mean? Students usually don't know. So they kind of edit this song, and in this way, they learn the difference between different styles, registers. Good. And finally, you might ask them to write a review. To make it more challenging and more exciting, you can divide your group into two subgroups, like nice, kind critics and critics like this one. So, a very evil critic who doesn't like anything. Okay. Finally, let's talk about digital tools, what you can use if you want to sing in classes. As I mentioned before, some of the teachers are really conservative, let's say so. But I see here just usually young people, and I think you are aware of the following applications, but if you don't, if you don't know them, well, where is that? It disappeared. What can I do about it? Doesn't work. Did I press something? Bruh. Nothing. I wanted to show you some screenshots. Nothing. So, is there anything we can do about it? Okay, so first of all, I wanted to talk to you about some digital platforms like Yandex Music or Apple Music. Do you use them? Yeah, the thing is, you can find there nice playlists like modern hits or some playlists based on different emotions. Like recently, I saw that playlist which is called Music for Putting on Makeup. Ladies, do you really need that kind of music? But okay. Sometimes they are even based on topics. But what I really like about it is that you can see the lyrics of the song instantly, without any problems, and you check if the song is appropriate for you or not, like in 2-3 seconds. Okay, what was the next one? The next one was about, of course you use it because you're all young, Shazam. What is that? Do you know? Yeah, sure, that application, like a typical situation, you are somewhere in a mall, or magic is happening just in front of you. Okay, so you're in a mall or you're listening to the radio and you don't know the song, you don't understand who is singing. So you use that application, Shazam if you don't know, and it gives you the name and the title of the song. Works perfectly. Okay, then I wanted to talk to you about some sites, but if I don't show you the address, that's gonna be difficult. Okay. So, some of your students might like singing karaoke. Do you like karaoke? Yeah, that's perfect. So, there is a wonderful site which is called like x-com, where you can find backing tracks. You know them, right? Why is it so wonderful? Is that because first, you can download the song. The second, you can change the pitch, the tempo. The third thing, there are lyrics there. And what I like most, and my students like, is that some of the versions contain back vocals. So if your students want to sing karaoke, but they are not that confident about singing, you can use that version with back vocals and they feel just like stars, you know? Yeah. Okay. Another site I can show you, unfortunately, as I remember, it's called Amalgama. Wonderful. You know, I'm sure that your English is perfect and you're wonderful teachers, but sometimes songs contain some slang or some realia which we are not really familiar with, and we don't have a lot of time to check it. So you just go to that site which contain wonderful translations, really high quality translations, and you can find different explanations. I got an example there, but unfortunately I can't show it. And there was one more site, and I forgot the name. It's like Lyrics Training, as I remember. Do you know such a site? Yeah, like lyricstraining.com, yeah, right? So the thing is, if you want your students to work individually at home, or if you have a computer in your classroom, you can use it. You choose a song, then you select a mode, like beginner, intermediate, and so on, and you start filling in gaps. You see a video clip, and you have to fill in the gaps, just like in the task which I mentioned before. But if you don't do that, you can't continue listening to the song. So first you fill in the gap, then you continue listening. And if you create an account there, you can make your own versions of such clips. So that's wonderful. It won't work, right?
So it just gets cooled down, and I think that you can close up.
Yeah, I'm closing up because that's wonderful. So I just hope that not only will you use songs in your classes, but your whole life will be just a wonderful and positive song. And that's it. Thank you. Now I'm ready for some questions. Please.
How to select a song for different levels?
You can do it just yourself, unfortunately. You just look at the lyrics and you decide yourself, unfortunately. But you know, if you're like with experience, you will find out what singers have really simple songs and what singers have more complicated songs. So for example, if you take old songs by Madonna, they are elementary. So it's your experience. Thank you. Yeah.
What is your favorite song teaching English for young learners?
You know, I don't really work with young learners, and I wanted to show you a couple of sites where you can find some clips, but I can't, unfortunately. So yeah, I can't answer this question now. For all learners, it really depends. There are so many songs. For teenagers, right now, my teenage students are into Imagine Dragons, any songs by them. So like Thunder is the most favorite one. It goes really well. And it's about like school, about, I don't know, bullying a little bit, about self-development, so it's good. Very inspiring. Anything else? Whoa! That's perfect. Yeah. So, for kids, look at this site. It's wonderful. It contains loads of little songs written specially for children, with cartoons, of course. You wouldn't sing like Lady Gaga with your children, would you? But it's especially good because you can do some preparation tasks before and play a game after that. So it's a complete lesson. Children are crazy about it, really. And one more. It's like ESL Classics. ESL Classics. The same situation, the same short videos, but based on classic music. So not only do your children learn English, they also get acquainted with some classic pieces of music. Yeah, and they all introduce some vocabulary and grammar topics. Yep, so again, nothing I can show you. Let's go on with your questions.
Do you have a site or your role with the list of singers or groups? I mean, what do you
Aha, unfortunately I don't, but thank you for that question. I have a blog on VK which is called Blog Языкоплёта, and I promise you, blog Языкоплёта. And I promise you that I'm going to post some lists like this. It depends on the group. Depends on the group. Usually, very average. Like once every 3 weeks. But it depends on your students. If they are really good students, if they do their homework, I do it more often. If not, sorry. Okay. You please. It usually takes about 45 minutes, more or less, including singing. My own songs, you don't want to listen to them, really, so I didn't. Okay? Sorry, I can hear you. For example, we like going to karaoke. For example, during the whole year, we learn some songs, and after that we go to a karaoke bar and we practice them, of course. Or sometimes I ask my students to go to some concerts and write reviews. That's possible too. Yeah, some presents. I already forgot who asked. Yeah. Really difficult. You know, you mean by vocabulary or by deep meanings? Oh, first of all, any rap songs, of course, and Lady Gaga. Really difficult to understand, like on a deep level.
Sorry. Can't it be confusing for students to use the appropriate language while usual speaking? I mean, they can use some words, phrases learned from the song, which are everyday English or...
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it's more for the passive vocabulary, just to recognize and understand. Of course, I explain that, of course, and you should.
Can't it be any confusion while speaking using the words?
From the song?
Yeah.
Yes, sure, of course. There are a lot of words they wouldn't use in their everyday life, so you should be careful. I can't see anything. Yeah, sure.
Are we talking about adults only? Or about teenagers?
We are talking about adults and teenagers. Yes.
How do you deal with shy teenagers? How do you persuade them?
You mean to persuade to sing?
Yes.
I don't. No, if they don't want to sing, I just ask them to pronounce that song just like a monologue, like to the rhythm of the song, and that's it. They won't sing. If they don't want, they won't.
So you don't make them.
Of course not, of course not. It's like if somebody wanted to, I don't know, to make me dance, I would cry and run away. Yeah.
Do you have any assessment system? Just how to
My more like teenagers and adults. Yeah, sometimes I give some quizzes or tests on vocabulary, and if I use a song for grammar, of course, but usually not. For me, it's more like entertainment than. Yeah, I see. As I said, it's all up to you. If you work at school or at university, that could be a problem for you after that. If you have some private students, why not? For example, I have no problems using those songs with explicit vocabulary. No, I'm not afraid of that. But you should think really hard. Yeah, sure. Now I'm going to give you some prizes. Like this. These ones, yeah. Just a sec, just a sec. I'm running. Let me see. It's so difficult to find you now. Yeah, would you? You asked me that question, no? Yeah, sure, this is for you. Oh, yeah. Could you please pass it to that lady behind you? Right here, yeah, I see you. And the young man there, could you please? Thank you. Do you have anything else to give?
So, first of all, I'd like to thank Vadim because you see, he's a real teacher. He can work when everything else doesn't. So let's applaud to Vadim.
Thank you.
Vadim, can you please come there? Yeah, so this was a sign of
Thank
it.
you.
And thank you from this. Okay, so you can subscribe on Vadim's blog and you can invite him so he'll make your lessons really, I would say, varied. And that's a good point. Okay, thank you one more time.
Thank you very much.